Welcome to the Get a Grip Sports Experience, and today we are going to be recapping the conference championship games along with the Super Bowl. This is going to be a painful episode. I'm joined always by Get a Grip Sports Football.
I'm excited for this episode. This was a very good Super Bowl. Very entertaining.
I hated it. It was actually really boring. We'll get into it though. First, I want to do the conference championship games. I'll start off with the Chiefs versus the Bills. Chiefs absolutely demolished the Bills. This was this. You see, I'm starting off with the happy stuff just to get me into a good mood. The Chiefs, They won 38-24, demolished the Bills. We scored 3 touchdowns in the second quarter and never looked back. We destroyed the Bills. The Bills were nothing compared to the Chiefs. Any thoughts on the game?
Chiefs played absolutely great football. Their offensive line was still a thing.
Oh, don't do that. It's too... Oh, my gosh. Yeah, well, Eric Fisher got injured in this game. Pretty big impact in the Super Bowl.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, I've never, liked Eric Fisher, but he's always been stable. He's always been consistent.
Yeah, same here for, Alejandro Villanueva.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't he, did he make the Pro Bowl?
I think so. He's also probably leaving in free agency. That's
true. Your team is in disarray.
We're dead meat, bro. I hope Big Ben pulls a Drew Brees and just lowers his paycheck.
Well, Drew Brees, talk about a team move. He just took one for the team right before he retires.
Yeah, that's why I don't think Big Ben's going to do it.
No.
It's a team move.
Yeah, he wants to take all the money he can get.
He's going to ask for a raise.
Yeah. Isn't he one of the most expensive quarterbacks going into the next season?
Yeah, $40.5 million.
Jeez. For a guy that old and that inconsistent, paying him $40 million.
We signed him back when he was still MVP candidate Big Ben.
And now he's old.
Now he's not.
Now he's old, washed up Big Ben. Oh, man. Alright, so I think you had the Packers game, right? You're doing the Packers?
Yeah, Packers and Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
This
Garbage.
game, I think...
That's just my take on it. It's garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't... The first half was pretty good. Matt LaFleur with the questionable play call to go for the field goal instead of going for it on 4th and goal when it's clearly 4th down territory.
Yeah, what did you think about that? Do you think they should have gone for it?
Yeah, I thought they were going for it because it originally looked like Rodgers was staying on. Yeah. And you can't give the ball back to Brady, especially with the run game and the success that they were having against the Packers defense on the ground.
Yeah, you can't. And especially, and I think the dropping that 2-point conversion, whoever that guy was who dropped it, that was big.
Yeah. That was really big.
Oh, yeah. But, so say you don't get it. Say you go for it, you don't get it. You're still in the same position needing a stop. It's the same position. I get that you wanted to take points. But, if you don't get it, you're pretty much in the same position.
Yeah, it was a horrible play call. But play of the game for that game, I gotta give it to Tom Brady right before halftime.
Come on, King, jeez. You have one job. You have one job.
One job. But Scotty Miller is very fast and elusive. He's like a less fast Tyreek Hill.
Oh, yeah.
With Antonio Brown's elusiveness.
What did you think about Scotty Miller saying he was faster than Tyreek Hill?
Okay. You know how much I don't like Tyreek Hill or anybody on the Chiefs. But that's not true.
Yeah, it's not. It's not at all. But I appreciated him drumming up Tyreek Hill for that. Sparked a good bit of conversation before that awful Super Bowl. But, yeah, the Packers couldn't get a stop when it mattered. Defense, their offense kind of let them down, honestly. The defense picked off Brady.
The offense didn't play good. The defense, it was awful. Their defense was horrible. They were forcing turnovers. They forced 2 turnovers.
They picked off Brady 3 times. Yeah,
and 2 of them were tipped, and the other was miscommunication.
Yeah. Still picks. The offense didn't do anything with them, but they were still interceptions.
Yeah.
They got 6 points off of 3 picks. That's awful.
That's horrible.
All right, so with that, we will roll into the Super Bowl.
You ready for this?
I'm not. I'm gonna give you a minute to just talk, and I'll interject when needed. So
I want you to start it off. I want you to give your recap.
Oh, gosh. Okay, so if we really want to give a recap, I won't be one of those fans who say, it's all the refs' fault, alright? It's not all the refs' fault. The refs, here's my stance on it. The refs, they made an impact, but they're not the reason we lost. The reason we lost is because the offensive line failed Mahomes. That's purely the reason why we lost. He was pressured on 29 dropbacks, the most in Super Bowl history. He ran for 500 yards in the backfield trying to escape sacks. If that's not crazy enough stats, he had no time to throw. He would drop back, 5 guys would be in his face already. The offensive line failed him. They were banged up, missing their 2 starting tackles. Also, just out of curiosity, where is Mitchell Schwartz? Like, what happened to his back? Did somebody come and take a pike and just drive it through his back? He's been gone for weeks.
Tom Brady probably hired somebody.
Yeah, he probably did. And just like, I know, I shouldn't be doing conspiracy theories, but I think that Tom Brady, honestly, I think he probably sent in that barber who tried to give everyone COVID. He probably did. I mean, am I wrong? I mean,
the odds of that happening are
pretty high.
Next to none. There's no way.
Okay, fine. But anyway, the story of the game. Offensive line was bad. I mean, did you see some of the throws Mahomes was making? He was parallel to the ground and threw his sidearm.
They were very impressive. That's where the baseball background definitely comes into play. But
and then Darrell Williams drops the ball.
They were horrible.
So Kelsey, Hill, and Darrell Williams all dropped interceptions. Or not all of them dropped touchdowns. Travis Kelce dropped a 30-yard pass downfield, or 25 maybe, downfield that would have gotten the first down, kept the drive moving. He drops that. It was right in his hands. Then Tyreek Hill drops the ball in the end zone, goes right through his hands, hits his face mask. Then Darrell Williams, on an amazing play where Mahomes scrambles every which way, throws it parallel to the ground, sidearm, throws it right off of his face mask. Like, he has no time to begin with, but can you please just make a catch? I know the game was over, but, please just make a catch. It was rough. It was a rough game.
Yeah, I mean, we had very similar losses in the playoffs. Like, for me, it's Steelers versus Browns. We had no chance of coming back after the first half.
Yeah.
And same for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, our defense was awful this game. Brady just sat back with absolutely a ton of time to throw. Do you see how he was pressured on 4 dropbacks? That's his lowest in his Super Bowl career. This man's played in 10 Super Bowls, and we had the lowest amount of pressures on him.
That's very impressive, especially with the Bucs offensive line. They were rookies starting in there.
And we have Steve Spagnuolo, the guy who's he's beaten Brady twice before, yes, and he does nothing. Frank Clark, he had 1 sack and then was never heard from again. I never heard his name. I didn't even see him. That's how non-existent he was in the pressure. It was awful.
This was I don't watch a lot of Chiefs games, and this was the first game that I've watched where Mahomes has been sacked multiple times.
Oh, yeah, I think that's why. I mean, he is sacked a lot. Not sacked a lot. He does get sacked multiple times, but you're right. It's rare because he, just does an amazing throw at the last second. So, it is rare, but he does get sacked. But, yeah, it just really speaks to his, his ability to get out of the pocket and make amazing throws. But none of those throws are going to matter if you don't catch it. So,
Yeah.
I'm just a very bitter Chiefs fan. I do want to know what you thought of the halftime show, because there are a lot of opinions coming out about the halftime show.
Oh my gosh, this was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. What were they thinking?
Yeah, I've noticed,
Bro, if James Corden was doing the choreography for that, it would have been better.
Yeah.
The sprinkler would have been better than looking around in a maze for who knows what.
Jeez. Yeah, I noticed, the major consensus was on the internet, at least what I saw, was that it was bad. I did see a couple people who were like, I don't care what people think, it was amazing, but mostly I saw that it was awful. For me, I didn't pay much attention to it at all. I was too sad to care. From what I remember...
Too busy mourning the loss of your second Super Bowl.
Yes, I did, mourning the loss of Run It Back. Gosh. I rewatched it, I think it was 2 days ago on YouTube. I rewatched it, and, I was a little weirded out. I was a little creeped out watching it, because it's and a bunch of people were talking about how It looked like they were wearing jock straps on their face, like all those dancers. Yeah. I mean, it was weird. It was kind of.
Gotta wear your masks, man.
Yeah, true. It was socially distanced. That scene where he's like taking the camera.
Socially distanced.
No, it was not. The scene where he was like taking the camera and like spinning it around. I almost had it was so dizzy. It looked like it was inside like a microwave. It was really weird. It was a halftime show where, probably perfectly sums up, the Super Bowl, where it was just a huge letdown. Just a huge letdown.
You gotta admit, this was a very entertaining game.
No, it wasn't. It was not entertaining. I don't think a single person.
The last few minutes of the fourth quarter, it was an entertaining game.
I don't think a single person in their right mind would say this was entertaining. And I think that's...
It was entertaining to watch Mahomes run.
Okay. Well, I think a large reason why it wasn't as entertaining is because this game was hyped to the moon. And then it was just this. It looked like somebody just barfed this out on the field. It was awful. I just want to talk about the Super Bowl commercials, because they're always like, oh, Super Bowl commercials, everyone gets hyped up for it. They were awful this year. They were awful. Maybe that's because, I just have a negative view of this game. Anything that happened was negative. I do want to hear, am I just being too negative, or were the commercials bad?
A lot of them were pretty bad compared to other ones that we've had.
It just felt very
But there were a couple of gems, like the Doritos commercial, Dora on the Paramount commercial.
Michael B. Jordan. That one was good.
Oh, that one. That was the best, sadly.
Yeah, sadly, that one was best. I mean, it felt like I was just watching ads for Paramount. I get it. You have Paramount. Just stop. I get it.
Yeah. I actually wonder if they spent over 100. I guarantee they spent over $100 million. Oh
yeah, isn't it
on 3 commercials?
I forget. Wasn't it 30 seconds of ad time, and you have to pay $5 million for an ad spot in the Super Bowl?
It is a lot more than $5 million.
Yeah, it's and then I think the worst one by far was that CEO of the milk company in the middle of the field singing. He's like, you're the CEO, man. You don't have to do this.
Ain't milk, bro.
Yeah. It's
just a bunch of oat grains grained together isn't milk.
Yeah, it's you don't have to do this. It felt like somebody was forcing him to do it. Like somebody behind the camera was pointing a gun at him. It was you must sing, do it. And it was I think the commercials were all just boring and bland. It felt because nobody wanted to take a risk. Nobody wanted to be funny in this horrible year. But it just felt
too many risks. Make one bad joke and just gone.
Get canceled forever. Like that country singer. But it was just yeah, jeez. He should teach a course called How to End Your Career in 5 Seconds. It was just there's a lot happening in the world. There was that UFO spotted out of Florida. Did you see that video?
No, I did not.
So yeah, it was weird, off the coast of Florida. I think it was yesterday, where there was this weird light shining in the air, and it was traveling super slowly. Government said that it was a missile test from a submarine offshore. You buying that?
No.
No shot. But yeah, it was just felt like the commercials, the halftime show, the game in itself. It was just boring and bland.
Yeah. I want to hear your opinion about the Tom Brady and Tyrann Mathieu situation.
Oh, garbage. That's what I think. Garbage. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu, so, he went up to Brady and was nah, they're talking trash. And then,
he pointed his finger to him. You can't do that.
Oh, yeah. How dare he point a finger? Walk up to him, tackle him all you want, but if you dare point a finger, that's where we draw the line. But, so Tyrann Mathieu, he walks away, because he's thinking, yeah, I got the last word in. And then Tom Brady's a 43-year-old, just comes running over, beelines right at him. The interaction is over, man.
Bro, you're making him sound like he could freaking sprint. My man...
Okay, yeah.
My man runs 2 miles per hour to him.
I mean, he made what's about a beeline at his age, right at Mathieu, and it was and they just start jawing, and then Mathieu gets the flag. It felt that was funny, seeing a 43-year-old man chase down a guy and start, yelling out in his face. But, it's why did Mathieu get the flag? Even Tony Romo said, the flag could have gone either way. And it's it felt like the refs were oh, it's Tom Brady. it's Tom Brady. I'm not in like
refs are always like that.
Yeah, I'm not in the whole conspiracy camp of like the refs are paid off for Brady, but I feel like at that moment he was. I do want to talk. You expressed your opinion before recording. I do want to talk about the flags. What do you think about all those flags in the first, especially the second quarter?
There were the 2 or was it 3 pass interference calls. They were questionable. One, the dude like tripped and he hit him in the behind and in the shin, and he fell over. Obviously a flop. I think that refs still have to call that.
So for me, I felt like what I was more mad about was the fact that Breland let him get that far. Like, dude, you have one job. Just get back. They have no timeouts. It's 30 seconds left. Just get back. Why are you letting him burn you? And then the other thing...
You can't get up that hard on Mike Evans.
Yeah, like, he almost deserved it at that point. But it's like, I watched it back, and it sure did look like their feet got tangled, so it was incidental contact. But really, I was just more mad that Breland let him get that far down the field. And then the Mathieu one, I thought was just... Like, come on. Like, it's uncatchable. Yao Ming on a trampoline couldn't have caught that. Like, it was uncatchable.
Okay, no, Yao Ming can catch it.
Maybe, if he had a trampoline. But, like...
We gotta love the NBA references.
Yeah, true. Gotta always just jam in. I'm preparing for the NBA season now, because I have no football to watch. But...
Become a Lakers fan, man.
No, I'm not jumping on that bandwagon. I'll probably...
It's not a bandwagon if you say that you've loved it your entire life.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so that flag was bogus, I think. The 2 of them, I think the Breland one, yeah, sure, call it. The Brady interception, I thought, was bogus. Like, where Brady, he threw it, got tipped up in the air, Mathieu catches it, and then on the other side of the field, Ward, like, him and Evans were, like, getting into, like, some hand-to-hand combat, and the refs called it. And it was like, that was not holding. It took 2 seconds. The play was 2 seconds. And he didn't even once like grab his jersey or anything. It felt like the refs almost like looked and saw Tom Brady throw an interception and was like, oh, we gotta call that. You can't have him getting an interception.
Yeah, they were just playing patty cake over there.
Yeah, it was like, he didn't hold. I don't understand. Like, it felt like, that was a momentum shift. We would have had the ball like inside their 20. We could have turned it around. But I'm in the camp that, the refs, they made a big impact, but they didn't lose us the game. The offensive line lost us the game.
Yeah, and I gotta bring this up. For the first few minutes of the first quarter, Mahomes wasn't as pressured as he was the rest of the game. And he still wasn't playing good. Underthrowing, overthrowing. They
played good coverage. I agree with you on that one. Mahomes, he looked a little rusty, looked a little shaky. I think that was more a credit to, he was under pressure, but he wasn't, like you said, under pressure like he was, like, in the second quarter. But, yeah, I think they were playing really good coverage on field. They were doubling Tyreek, doubling Travis Kelce. And they basically said, hey, you're going to have to beat us with Sammy Watkins and Mecole Hardman. And they couldn't. Mecole Hardman, he dropped a pass, I think. Mecole Hardman, I know he didn't have the best of game. Tommy Townsend, our punter, didn't have the best of games.
Oh my gosh, that was a horrible punt.
Yeah, 2 horrible punts.
The long snapper was horrible in this game. 2 very low ones. One, Tommy couldn't catch the ball because it was too low.
I think that was mostly nerves. I could have caught that ball, honestly. Like, I could have caught that ball and handed it to Townsend to punt. But, it was like I felt bad for the kid because he's a rookie and everything, and punting is hard. It definitely makes more of an impact than some people think, because field position is everything. But, I just think that...
Unless you're playing Brady, then it doesn't matter where he starts.
That's true. But it's like, dude, it's crucial. You have to punt it. Then, obviously, he dropped it, then just launched an absolute, bomb downfield. And then Ben Nimian had to go hold the guy. And he took it back. And then, of course, Townsend follows it up with, a 30-yard punt. And it was like everything that could have gone wrong didn't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough game. And then, of course, you have all the outside factors with Andy Reid's son being involved in that crash. That's sad. The fact that, the girl was involved with that crash and now could have life-threatening injuries. It's rough. It was a rough week.
Yeah, man.
Would you say Tom Brady? He's the GOAT. And I hate to say that, but he is the GOAT. I admire that he's gone back to back to back to back. He keeps finding motivation to go to the Super Bowl. I do admire that.
gotta ask you this question. Can Patrick Mahomes ever be called the GOAT after this Super Bowl loss?
No. The answer would be no. Unfortunately, this will always hang over Mahomes' head. Even if Mahomes were to get the GOAT title, he'd have to win 10 Super Bowls. He'd have to win 9 Super Bowls. And even then, there would still be doubters because Tom Brady beat him head-to-head in the Super Bowl. And right now, Tom Brady...
When he was 43.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Tom Brady also will be held over his head that he has a better record against him in the playoffs. He's 3-2 against Mahomes. So I think Brady is always going to be considered the GOAT. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like the domination that he's had on this league for 21 years.
It'll be interesting to see if he comes back next year and if we have a rematch. If we have a rematch,
dude, if we get a rematch, I'd be ecstatic because hopefully then we would have a good offensive line. Then we could have a real game. This game did feel like I was watching it like it was something like out of an alternate universe. You know, it was like this is not supposed to happen. Like the Chiefs, they're supposed to score a touchdown, and they didn't score a single touchdown.
Yeah, that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
to say the least.
It was a bad game. I hated it. And then the coaching, it was weird. Like the coaching never adjusted. Like we never really. Where were the jet sweeps? Where was the end round? We had like one in the first quarter, and then all just disappeared.
Yeah, I honestly was surprised to see no jet sweeps to Tyreek.
Yeah, we did like one in the first quarter, and then it was just all gone. It felt like our coaching just never adjusted. And I don't. It was
One more thing I gotta bring up, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Antonio Brown got a touchdown in the Super Bowl,
so
baby.
ridiculous. Antonio
Brown got a touchdown, so it's kind of like the Steelers win the Super Bowl,
You're like all the Patriots fans who, like, they finally had a bad year for once, and then they get emotionally carried by Brady to the Super Bowl. But the way Antonio Brown scored, I was like, you had to break Tyrann Mathieu's ankles like that.
Yeah,
like, gosh.
Bro.
It was a rough game. And then Gronk scored twice. Like,
letting Gronk score twice is more embarrassing than anything that happened that night.
Yeah, so, like, the way the night went, if this had been the Packers, I would be like, alright, fine. The team's good. If we played like this, I guess we didn't deserve it against the Packers. But the fact that we did this against Brady and Gronk and Antonio Brown, the fact that happened, like, against those guys, it's just rough. And so you just hope that Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Mahomes, all those guys on the offensive line can take this as motivation going into the next year.
It'll be interesting to see. Sammy Watkins, there's no way they can keep him on the contract that he's about to ask for.
Yeah, you hope that he says he pulls a Drew Brees, takes less of a pay cut, but,
Yeah, it's Sammy Watkins. The man left after his sophomore year in college.
Yeah, I feel like we might have to let him go. I think we might have to say goodbye to him in the offseason. Then we'll have to rely on Hardman, who I don't know if I'm too sure about, because he and Mahomes seem to not have the greatest of connection.
Yeah, but you also have Demarcus Robinson and Pringle. Those guys, if they can step up and take advantage, it'll be interesting to see if they make one of the top 3 receiving cores in the NFL with Kelsey, Hill, and Pringle / Robinson.
I will say Pringle is looking pretty good. He's gotten a lot more reps in the playoffs. He's looking pretty good. He doesn't look bad. He's a tall guy. He's a tall, fast guy. And we don't really have that on our team. Other than Kelsey.
He's like Chase Claypool, man.
Yeah, he is. Except, he catches things. And he makes more of an impact than Chase Claypool does.
That was an unnecessary comment.
I'm sorry. I'm just so negative after that. Speaking of Chase Claypool, where was he in the playoffs? It feels like, or in like the final stretch of games, it felt like Chase Claypool kind of disappeared.
We didn't advance in the playoffs, so we didn't get to play him that much.
Yeah, true. Like the last stretch of the regular season, I felt like he wasn't even there.
Yeah, he was kind of like a 5-game wonder.
Yeah, just like Frank Clark. We paid him so much, and he did nothing. I feel like I've said enough about this game. We've said pretty much everything that can be said, and we did it in 25 minutes. Wow. We stretched 3 games out to 25 minutes? I think
Impressive.
job well done. Job well done. Anyways, because I am the one recording this, I'm about to send it over. I can close it out with saying thank you so much for watching. Always remember.
Juju, please stay.
And wait, you want Juju after what he did that season? This season?
Juju mature and stay. Budget free stay, and Villanueva stay too.
Oh, I forgot. Before we close this out, how do you feel about Aaron Donald winning the Defensive Player of the Year award over TJ Watt?
Garbage. TJ Watt had more sacks. He had more tackles. This was a horrible call, and I'm outraged. End the meeting right now.
Let's not forget that he played one less game than Aaron Donald and had better numbers. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember, go Chiefs. And for your sake, I'll let you say it, go Steelers if you want to.
Go Steelers.